Welcome to Tara Talking, the podcast that's named after the blog that's just me, telling stories to offer help, healing, and hope as you journey into your passionate, purposeful, and prosperous life. Thanks for coming along on the ride, and now on to today's topic. Okay, so like the title says, the power of the two small little words, what if, is absolutely a life-changing sort of power. And the reason I know this is because I myself, when I first started going through my journey from, my cave of pain and stuckness into living the life that I've always imagined. On my way into that journey, one of the very first things I was confronted with was asking this question, what if? And it seems so simple, right? But I posted this in here a couple of hours ago now, and I said, finish the sentence for yourself. What if? And I was blown away by some of the responses. You guys took that challenge and really dug into, some deep what ifs for yourself. I guess I thought maybe I would have a harder time getting that level of response, but I am amazed at how much you guys were willing and ready to ask yourself some pretty big what if questions. And that's where I had to get. When I was starting so I don't, it's hard for me to sometimes know where to back up to. Where did my story start and when does it end? The good news is that it's always going to be a happy ending, because that's what I'm writing for myself. I'm always designing the life I imagine. But where the story started, trying to back that train back up, is tougher, because it was one of those situations where there wasn't a morning that I woke up that I was like, wow, my life is a train wreck. It was a series of feelings that weren't good. I never felt comfortable or safe or loved. And when I tried to say, when did that feeling shift? It was very hard. Even still, it's hard for me to go back and say, when did I know that the train was about to wreck? I don't know. But I know that there was a point in time where it had been hurting. It had been a lot of pain. It had been a lot of cold, dark feelings. Not waking up in the morning excited about my life, just kind of rotely going through the motions. And I knew that I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to feel those feelings anymore, but I didn't feel like I had a way out. I felt stuck. And that's why I call my painful time, kind of being in that cave. It was so deep that I couldn't even really see that there was light. And when you're disoriented in the dark and you don't know which way is up, which way is down, which way is further back, which way is towards the entrance, because you can't see anything, that's where I was. And out of that place is where I started to just consume anything I could get my hands on, to say, what can I do to start to change this? How can I not feel this crappy? And how can I start to feel better? And one of the first things that came up for me was, and I truly don't remember if I heard this on a podcast, if it was in a book. I mean, I don't think anyone would ever take credit for this. But it was just this concept, this idea that asking yourself, when you're in the dark, hard, cave-like, painful place, you're asking a ton of questions of, what if I don't keep this job? What if we end up getting divorced? What if I don't get to stay in this house? What if I have to find a new place to live? What if my car breaks down? What if the washing machine breaks and there's no one here to fix it? What if bad weather hits? What if all of these bad things, right? We get sucked into this what if place. And the shift that started to happen for me was that someone pointed out, as much as you can ask what if for the negatives, you can use that power to ask, okay, what if? What if I get divorced and I start to live the best life I've ever had? What if I get that promotion at job, or that I don't get that promotion at work, but I find an even better position that now I'm available for? What if I not only have enough money to pay the bills, but I have leftover? What if I find $20 in the parking lot? What if the good things, the things that, as much as our brains want to go towards the negative what ifs, my challenge to you, and this is how I said, this is how you start to figure out what the power of what if can be for you. The challenge is, become aware of it. Start to become aware of this internal dialogue that you have. And everyone has one. It's just the voice that keeps talking. If you've ever read the book, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, he talks about this, that it's the voice. It's this constant negative roommate who takes up space in our head. Who's just always talking. And that's the voice that's saying, what if the bad things? So as soon as you start to notice this, when you start to feel this anxious feeling, and for me, when I'm anxious and stressed about something, it feels like the front of my chest and my back are like being pinched together. Start to notice how it feels for you when you feel that anxiety, when you feel that, what if all this bad stuff. And as soon as you notice it, I want you to stop the voice in your head from finishing those negative thoughts and say, okay, what if the opposite happens? And then take a deep breath. You don't have to have all of the answers. That's the really good thing, is that we don't necessarily have to know everything right away. Most of what's coming up for us, most of that anxiety over the future is, first of all, most of it's not likely to happen. Secondly, it is so far into the future that there's a lot of stuff that can change between now and that time. So you have time to sit with the question, to take the deep breaths, to let the wherever you're feeling your tightness, let it go. Just take a deep breath, and when you exhale, let that tension go. Just drop it. Relax into it. Breathe deeply into it. And then say, okay, what if the opposite of this happens? You're worried about what if blank bad thing happens. Stop. Breathe. What if the opposite happened? Because I'll tell you what, one thing that I'm learning that I want so much to ingrain into you is that there really is nothing that's impossible. You get to create and design your own life exactly how you want it to be. And as much as that voice in your brain starts to say, well, what if you're wrong? What if I can't really do that? What if that isn't real for me? Okay, what if it is? What if your dream gets to come true even bigger than what you thought? What if you not only get to find love again, but it's this love that you couldn't even imagine? What if you not only don't lose your job, but you get promoted and become the CEO? What if you not only get enough money to do whatever it is that you are worried about doing, but you also get to expand beyond that? What if? What if the Wright brothers had thought after the third or fourth or 892nd time that the wings weren't working of their plane? What if they had thought, you know what, they were right. We can't fly. Humans aren't meant to fly. We're going to give up. I'll tell you what, there would be a whole lot of parts of this world that I would never have gotten to see. But what if they had kept going? And they did. And we have airplanes now. When, I don't know, I'm not really super scientifically, factually based, but 100 years ago, 150 years ago, everyone was telling them that's crazy. You can't do that. Humans don't fly. Stop wasting your time. So what if you're the next Wright brother? What if you are going to discover something big? What if? So I want you to just start recognizing when that negative voice comes in and says, what if, and starts to try to get you ramped up. Oh my God, what if? What if there's a storm and you don't make it to that place in time? What if you're late for work? What if you can't pay the bills? Stop and take a breath and ask that voice, okay, but what if the opposite is true? What if it turns out really good? And let yourself feel into the relaxation of expanding your mind positively and starting to think of the possibilities instead of being cramped down into, oh my gosh, what if? What if it all turns out bad? And it's just, it comes down to hope, right? Like, what if there is hope in every situation? What if life is going to change tomorrow? What if it's just around the next corner or just around the next river bend? I was obsessed. Well, not really obsessed. I was a college student, so I wasn't like head over heels with the Pocahontas Disney movie. But that song, well, most of the soundtrack, I mean, if it comes on, like, listen, I'm going to bust into some good Disney singing. But one of the first songs that plays in Pocahontas is Just Around the River Bend. And Pocahontas is singing, you know, like, she says in the first few lines, what I love most about rivers is you can't step in the same river twice. Life is always changing, always flowing. And what if it's flowing to you and for your good, to take you someplace good? You just never know. Keep going. Keep on keeping on. We said that, well, I said that, I typed that at the end of every single update that I do on my daughter's page, for her medical stuff. And thank God, by the grace of God, the miracle of prayer, the miracle of finally getting some good nutrition into the child and realizing that she needed a lot more support in different ways than we were giving her. We've been out of the hospital for an entire calendar year. That is amazing. But there was a time last summer where I didn't think that we were going to get another Christmas with her. I didn't think she was going to make it to her next birthday. And I don't know when I started, you know, kind of coining this catchphrase with her, but it was keep on keeping on. And I realize it's from like Joe Dirt, and that it's in a lot of like Hallmark cards type of thing. But for us, it became this mantra. And there were so many days where I didn't want to keep on. In the midst of my own pain, my heart was breaking and falling apart through my divorce. My kid was trying desperately to become an angel. My other three were dealing with, you know, hardly ever having a mom there. Dad was traveling all the time. When he was home, he wasn't really very emotionally present. And I was just trying to keep everything together. And so many days, I just didn't want to do it anymore. So I would tell that almost to myself. It was just this mantra of grin and bear it. You know, I would say it through very bared teeth. Keep on keeping on. Like, you've just got to keep going. And that's really what has gotten me through to this point, along with a lot of other things. But to start with, like I said, at the beginning of this journey where I thought, I'm just not available anymore for this negative energy, and I am going to change my life. I am going to figure this out. I am not going to sit here and continue to let all this bad stuff just pile up. I'm going to keep on keeping on. And I started to dig into that question, what if? What if it didn't have to be this negative way? What if it got to be better? And I'm so glad that I asked that. And that's part of why I'm so passionate now about starting to help other women, other people who are on this journey, whether it's, about creating a better business for yourself, a better life, moving forward in just every area that you can ever think of. It starts with being able to allow yourself to ask, what if it gets to be better? What if it gets to be easy? What if I don't have to settle for this negativity anymore? So that's what I wanted to go through tonight. And totally going to be one of the things we dig into, not only on the challenge next week, but on my new class, the mindset and manifestations and mantras. I think those are it's 3 M's. And that class is going to be coming out next weekend. And I think tomorrow I'm going to announce a special early bird price. If you sign up for it before it actually releases, I'm going to give a discount just because I'm so excited about getting this information into more hands. And it's going to be about making some of those mindset shifts that help get you from this stuck place, from the chaos, from the pain, from the anxiety, into calm and looking for the magic and looking for the what if it can be better. So many other good things coming. So that is coming up. The challenge is going to start on Wednesday. And yeah, I think that those are the 3 things that I wanted to kind of do housekeeping on. Continue to share this group with your friends, invite friends in. Again, if it's not their jam, they can always leave. Like, no feelings will be hurt. But I am truly so excited and passionate about sharing some of this stuff because I know that life holds so much more for all of us than we tend to let ourselves believe. So we're going to start changing some of that, start challenging some of that, and start helping you live the life that you've truly always imagined, however that looks like for you. Thank you for being here tonight. As always, thank you for watching my little spiels. I love when I come back in and see that it's been commented on and people are resonating with it. So let me know what's going on with you. What is one thing you're going to start shifting your what if about, and make it something measurable. You don't necessarily have to tell the whole group, but just someday let me know. Like, I started asking myself what if, and this is what I started to see happening. So that's that for tonight.
Thanks again for listening to this episode of Tara Talking. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Find me pretty much everywhere on the interwebs as @Tara Talking, that's TERRATALKING, or at my blog, taratalking.com. Your reviews, comments, and shares are always so appreciated. May you prosper well as you live your most passionate, purposeful life this week, and as always, keep on keeping on.